Standing in my empty living room, there's an undeniable simplicity. A single wall of east-facing sliding glass doors floods the space with morning light. On one side, a stone fireplace introduces cool gray and brown tones. On the other, warm LVP flooring adds a golden undertone. At first glance, this room might seem ordinary, but when I ran a sun study in Lumion, it revealed how light paints the room throughout the day. The stone warms as sunlight creeps across it, the floorboards glow and go matte depending on the hour, and the green trees outside shift from bright to shadowed. Why start here? Because sensory design begins with observation. Researchers and designers note that our brains process the world through multiple senses simultaneously: sight, sound, touch, smell, and taste. And the more senses a space engages, the more memorable and meaningful it becomes. Before any furniture enters this room, its light, texture, and colors are already delivering information to the nervous system. The east-facing glass doors make this room a morning room. Morning sun is energizing, but by late afternoon, the only natural light comes from reflections off the opposite kitchen and greenery outside. When planning a space like this, try a simple light audit. Take a photo at different times of day, 8 a.m., noon, and sunset, to see how the light changes. Notice which surfaces glow and which remain shadowed. This guides decisions like where to place artwork, mirrors, or seating. Because there's only one light source, I experimented with mirrors in Lumion to see how far I could bounce that light. The result is a surreal reflection. Infinite me's echoing around the room, but it illustrates a crucial point. To make a room feel balanced when it has a single window, you have to help the light travel. In our homes, we can do this strategically placed mirrors or reflective molding. Light doesn't just change how a room looks, it affects how we feel. Studies in neuroarchitecture show that physical aspects of a space, including light, color, and materials, create a mood that is perceived by our brains both consciously and unconsciously. Warm, natural daylight helps regulate our circadian rhythms and can make us more alert. Harsh glare, on the other hand, makes us squint and can cause cognitive fatigue. Choosing the right paint sheen helps control this glare. Matte finishes absorb light and create a softer atmosphere, while semi-gloss or satin finishes reflect more light and define edges. I chose a full matte finish for the walls so the morning light wouldn't bounce harshly around the room, and a semi-gloss for the future molding to add rhythm and catch enough light to highlight architectural details. The science of color and paint sheen. Color is more than aesthetics. It can influence our physiology. Cool colors on the blue side of the spectrum, blues, purples, and greens, are often described as calming. Warm colors like red and orange can stimulate energy and appetite. A 2020 study surveying thousands of people across 30 countries found strong associations between colors and emotion. Blue was linked with feelings of relief for more than a third of the respondents, and green to contentment. That doesn't mean neutrals are boring. Neutrals act as a canvas. They let seasonal changes outside and the activities within bring vibrancy. They are the Ritz-Carlton spa of colors, understated, luxurious, and restorative. Bold hues, meanwhile, are like a quirky 25-hour hotel in Vienna, adventurous and expressive. Both are valid, and the choice depends on how you want to feel. Paint sheen matters just as much as hue. Matte paint creates a soft, glare-free surface ideal for spaces where calm is a goal. Semi-gloss on trim acts like a frame, defining windows, doors, and molding. If you're unsure, test small patches at different times of day. Remember, surfaces with higher sheen will reflect more light and may show imperfections. Matte hides more, but absorbs light. Beyond sight, our sense of touch shapes comfort. When I walked barefoot across this LVP flooring, it felt cold, even with the air conditioner off. that might be pleasant in the summer, but in the winter, cold floors can make you feel tense. Science backs this up. A study measuring stress responses while walking on carpet versus wood found a wave content and skin impedance were significantly higher after walking on carpet. Science backs this up. A study measuring stress responses while walking on carpet versus wood found that a wave content and skin impedance were significantly higher after walking on carpet, indicating greater relaxation and lower stress. In other words, soft surfaces like carpets or rugs can physically reduce stress compared to hard flooring. A plush rug doesn't just warm your feet, it also absorbs sound and creates a tactile grounding that soothes the nervous system. Textures do more than feel nice, they shape acoustics. A space full of texture is quieter to our ears than one with clean, shiny surfaces. Bare wood and drywall bounce sound. Thick curtains, upholstered furniture, and rugs break up sound waves that stop echoes. Think about how a library hushes you, while an empty gymnasium echoes every footstep. Adding soft materials not only mutes noise, but also subtly signals to the body that the environment is safe and comfortable. When you're layering your own home, consider a boucle sofa, velvet pillows, a sheepskin throw, or a wool rug. Each introduces different tactile notes and help dampen sound. Temperature is another layer of sensory design. This townhouse stays cool naturally, great for energy savings, not so great for bare feet in the winter. Rugs help, but when you also introduce warmth through weighted blankets, heated floor plaids under rugs, or even radiant heat mats beneath LVP, you're renovating. Each adds subtle thermal comfort that impacts how your body feels in the space. Sound influences mood more than many people realize. A quiet room can calm your heart rate, and echoing space can make you subconsciously anxious. According to design researchers, the physical aspects of a space influence how we move and the mood or energy that is perceived by our brains. In sensory design, sound is intentionally managed. Add drapery, rugs to absorb echoes, place bookcases or art on walls to break up flat surfaces, and avoid all hard materials. When the house is empty, clap your hands. If you hear a sharp echo, it's a sign you need soft surfaces. For music, I often play FKJ at home. His mellow BPM sits in the sweet spot between calm and engaging. But sometimes I turn everything off, open the sliding door, and let the natural soundtrack take over. The rustling trees, birdsong, and occasional wind chime are a part of the sensory ecosystem. Multisensory experiences like this strengthen memory and perception. Smell is deeply tied to memory. A familiar scent can transport you to a distant time, which is why designers treat scent as a design layer. Natural ventilation isn't great in townhouses, so air tends to stagnate. In my living room, even scented candles struggle to travel across the space. Small adjustments make a difference, using a quiet fan to keep air moving, opening the door briefly to flush out stale air, and placing dried lavender bundles or eucalyptus in corners to infuse subtle fragrance. Because our brains process smell and emotion in the same neural regions, pleasant scents can instantly change how a room feels. They also hint at cleanliness. If a room smells fresh, your body relaxes. Cross ventilation is ideal, but not always possible in attached homes. If you can't create cross breeze with the window, consider ceiling fans or portable fans that circulate the air, making it easier for scents and fresh oxygen to travel. Even small plants like jasmine or rosemary release natural fragrance when you brush past them, adding to the sensory mix. Combining sight, touch, sound, and smell takes this empty room from plain to personal. Choosing soft, neutral wall color like sage green calms the eye and serves as a refined backdrop for the seasonal changes. Selecting matte paint reduces glare and supports restful sight lines. Introducing plush rugs and soft textures warms the floor and lowers stress. Hanging drapery and adding upholstery furniture dampens echo and invites the ear to relax. Using a fan and natural fragrances keep air circulating and scents alive. Each element is small, but together they create a sensory symphony that supports your nervous system. Sensory design isn't about eliminating color or life. It's about making thoughtful choices. A home designed with all 5 senses in mind can still be vibrant and expressive. The key is balance. Whether you crave a serene elegance of a spa or the energetic quirk of a boutique hotel, your space should be a canvas for life, not a distraction from it. In the next phase of this townhouse transformation, I'll start layering furniture, most of it thrifted or reused, to prove that you can create a bespoke, sustainable home without starting from scratch. Furniture will add another dimension of touch and history, and we'll explore how each piece contributes to the sensory story. For now, take a moment to stand in your own space, notice how the light changes, feel the floor beneath your feet, listen to the sound of your surroundings, breathe in the air, and ask yourself, what do I want this room to feel like?